Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the Zoning Board of Appeals for the City of Somerville for Wednesday, January the 15th, 2025. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, the meeting of the Somerville Zoning Appeals will be conducted via remote. A recording of this proceedings can be accessed at any time using the registration link at the top of the agenda. For the record, let's just show that we have 100% attendance this evening. All four regular members and two alternate members are present. First thing under our general business is approval of minutes. So would the clerk, oh yes, by the way, I'd like to appoint Brian Cook as clerk this evening for the meeting of January 15th. Do you accept that, Brian?
Yes, I do, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
Thank you. So under general business, we have a motion for the minutes.
Yes, Madam Chair. I move to approve the minutes of the Somerville Zoning Board of Appeal for the meetings of December 4th, 2024 and December 18th, 2024.
Thank you. Were there any corrections or comments on the minutes presented? Hearing and seeing none, may I have a second on the motion?
Seconded.
Seconded by Zach Zaremba. All in favor will go around. Ann Brockelman,
Yes.
Brian Cook,
Yes.
Cece Daglian,
Yes.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Zach Zaremba,
Yes.
and Susan Fontano, yes. Let the record show that minutes were approved 100% on both nights, the 4th and the 18th of December. Next item is under the public hearing, it's 76 to 78. The clerk, I don't know if you've been advised, but this was continued from the 4th, and they've asked for a continuance till April 16th. So could you please make that motion for us?
Yes, Madam Chair. In the matter of 7678 Powder House Boulevard, ZP 24-000029, continued from December 4th, 2024. Adam Jazarowski seeks a hardship variance for relief from SCO Article 3.1.18 C3 in order to convert a portion of the lot frontage to driveway in the neighborhood residence in our district. I move to continue the public hearing on this case to, April
16th.
16th.
Thank you. Seconded by Ann Brockelman. All in favor? Ann Brockelman,
Yes.
Brian Cook,
Yes.
Zach Zaremba,
Yes.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Cece Daglian,
Yes.
and Ursula Susan Fontano, yes. Let the record show 100% approval. It will be heard on April 16, 2025. Thank you. Now we jump down to other business. We have the Board of Elections tonight. May we please have I'd like to open them up for you folks to vote. The nomination is for the chair. Are there any nominations for the chair?
Yes.
Ann Brockelman,
I'd like to nominate Ursula Susan Fontano as chair for ZBA.
thank you. I accept. Is there a second on the nomination?
I will second it.
Seconded by Cece Daglian. Are there any other nominations for the chair? Hearing none and seeing none, I'll close the nominations for the chair and ask for your vote. As we go around, all in favor, as we go around, please answer yes in the affirmative if you'd like to have Ursula Susan Fontano as chair. Ann Brockelman,
Yes.
Cece Daglian,
Yes.
Ann Fullerton,
Yes.
Brian Cook,
Yes.
Zach Zaremba,
yes,
and Ursula Souza Fontano, yes. Let the record show was all 100% vote, 4 regulars and 2 alternates. Thank you very much, everybody. I enjoy doing it, and I hope you like what I'm doing. The next seat is for the vice chair. Do we have a nomination for vice chair? Ann Fullerton, yes?
Yes, Madam Chair, I nominate Ann Brockelman as Vice Chair for 2025.
Ann, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I accept. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a second on the nomination for Ann Brockelman? I'll second it. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that portion of the elections and open it up for the roll call vote. All in favor of Ann Brockelman continuing as vice chair, please say aye. Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Cece Daglian,
Aye.
Zach Zaremba,
aye,
Brian Cook,
Aye.
Susan Fontano, yes, and Ann Brockelman.
Aye.
Let the record show that Ann Brockelman was reelected to vice chair unanimously with our 4 regulars and 2 alternates. Congratulations, Ann.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
The last position is the clerk. Right now, we don't have a clerk. And to start off, is there anyone who wanted to be clerk? We've been going back and forth on this, and there's nobody that really wanted to obligate themselves permanently. We've had suggestions of perhaps us all taking turns rotating, but I got an interesting email today from Brian. And may I share that, Brian, at this point?
Sure, but I'll preface it with noting that in the rules of procedure and policy,
Yeah,
the officers are elected from the full members.
right. Also, normally the alternate can't hold an office unless the chair, or in our case, the vice chair, would also. Are you chiming in here, planning staff? Would you help us, please?
Yes, I am. Through you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank
Brian's
you.
correct. You are correct. That is how the RPP is written. Alternates cannot hold officer positions. However, if you would like in the time being, you can continue the practice of sort of electing a chair per meeting.
A clerk.
Where in that case, Brian could fill in as clerk, but it has to happen at every meeting. We can't just do it this time around and
Once.
make it a permanent because he's on a permanent member. So I suggest if that's how the board would like to move forward, you just don't vote for a full clerk tonight unless someone would like to. And we can always reevaluate that. If we get a new member and sort of how that, I can look further into how that process would look for you.
Okay. And also, I mean, Brian, you've clerked for us a few times now. Ann has done it, Ann Brockelman, Ann Fullerton has, and everybody's done a beautiful job. But Brian, I really thought you took hold of it. And if we'd like to go forward on a temporary basis, because also we'll be filling a slot hopefully, and we don't know who might be coming on board. They might be interested in it. Or as the year goes on, other people become more confident in their role here on the board and would like to be the clerk. So would you be interested in then just going forward? Like as Andrew said, we can't vote on for the year, but would you be okay with going with week to week? And if somebody else wants to chime in some week, we can do that as well, and maybe we can all take some lessons from each other on the protocol and how to handle it. Maybe we'd be more comfortable to go forward as clerk. Would that be all right with you, Brian?
I'm happy to serve on a meeting by meeting basis by appointment rather than standing for election that I can't stand for.
Sure.
And at some point, perhaps when we have the 5th full member, we can return to the question of the election of a clerk.
Okay, great. And like I just said, if any of you folks that are on the board want to step in and clerk once in a while, if you look at an agenda, it looks like something you feel comfortable with. If it's a small agenda, just to give you some practice on orating, please speak up. Does that sound like a deal to everybody? Okay. Any other comments from anyone? You know, we're a board, we all get a voice here. So if any of you have a comment or want to say something, please do. No? Okay, so hearing none at this moment, I will close the Board of Elections portion of the meeting with the chair intact and the vice clerk intact. And we're gonna go with the clerk, Brian, right now on a meeting to meeting basis. So thank you, everybody, for that. The next item, I guess we'll have Andrew chime back in. Andrew, this is your thing.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you so much. So you saw the packet I sent out included amendments to the board's rules of procedure and policy. This is in response to some changes that we've been discussing as an administration, as well as changes the planning board have made to their rules of procedure and policy. And as you were aware, we want to be consistent with what those rules are across all our boards, especially the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Planning Board, who do very similar things around certain permits in certain zoning districts. So it's very minute changes, and I'll walk you through them. The first change is under Section 2, Board Organization, amendments to the chair's rules of responsibilities. Something that a type of permit you have not seen and probably will not ever see. It's very rare for it to happen in you know, the NR or UR or CI or CB zoning district is a subdivision. We're seeing these more in our master plan areas, or like our transform areas of the city within overlay districts, where there's a creation of a new thoroughfare. That's really what the definition of a subdivision is in Somerville, since we're exempt from the state subdivision law. It gives authority for the chair to sign final subdivision plans on behalf of the board. Previously, we would have the plan at City Hall, and every member would have to come and sign it. This sometimes could take weeks to coordinate. So we felt an easy way to address this sort of to make it more efficient is to have the chair have that authority on behalf of the board to sign off. So that's the first change. The second change is regarding written public testimony when it's submitted. At the moment, as you're aware, the folks can provide written public comment till noon on the Friday before the meeting. However, we felt as staff that it would be actually more efficient for not just the board coordinator, staff, and you all, is to move that up a little bit to Thursday by end of day, 7:30 p.m. So we have time to put together packets, and we're not necessarily needed to work after 12:30. So yes, we are in a way looking after ourselves, but again, we want to make sure that we give ourselves ample time to put together these packets for you. So we're not sending them out later on a Friday, and you expect to get them, let's just say Friday by 12 o'clock. You know, I try to be as efficient as possible to get you the materials you need. So this really just helps the board coordinators out when it comes to packaging all the materials for your meetings. The third and last change is to minor site plan approval. As you're aware, the RPP document gives or it provides certain site plan approvals to be minor in nature, meaning the director of planning, preservation, zoning can step in on behalf of the review board and provide those approvals. Right now, we allow lot line adjustments, lot mergers, lot splits, changes to ground story facades, screening of rooftop mechanical equipment, modifications to parking lots that are very minute to be done at the administrative level. And we've added another type of development review, and that being changes to the number of ground story commercial spaces from 2 units to 1 within existing structures. Right now, you need to go through the full site plan approval process that we feel is not necessarily needed for these types of projects. We want to make it easier for our businesses in Somerville to change sort of that floor plan. If it's going from 2 to 1, it's a very simple change, and we felt that we can address any concerns at the staff level instead of this whole site plan approval level, which would require a board hearing. So that's the last change. As I go through this document, and again, they're underlined in red. All that we would need is to make a motion to approve the amendments to the board's rules of procedure and policy, and we'll make sure that that is put up on the website. Any questions?
No,
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
thank you. And what is this, the last item on the agenda then is, oh, back up for 1 minute on these amendments. We don't have to do anything, approve or
You
anything?
do need to vote. You do. It's your
Now?
it's your rules of procedure and policy, the boards.
So we do it now?
Yes, we do need
Oh,
a vote.
That's why I
Yep.
want to make sure. Okay.
Yep.
So, Brian, in the matter, please, of the amendments to the board's rules and procedures policy, do we have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move to approve the amendments to the Somerville Zoning Board of Appeals Rules of Procedure and Policy.
Second,
Seconded by Ann Brockelman. All in favor, please say aye. Brian Cook,
Aye.
Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Cecilia Daglian,
Aye.
Ann Brockelman,
aye.
and Susan Fontano, aye. Let the record show, all members voted in the affirmative. Thank you. Is that finish that, Brian? I mean, Andrew,
Yes, Madam Chair, that is. Thank you so much.
it's okay? Okay.
Perfect.
And finally, you have reappointment policy.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair, I just wanted to allow time if folks had any questions around the process. I know an email went out, I believe, when was it? Early December, I believe, from Kimberly Hutter, on behalf of Mayor Ballantyne. So I wanted just to provide one update. I know it could be like, wow, I'm gonna have to step down potentially. I understand, maybe some reservations, but this is going to be a multi-year process, meaning because it's going to be years until we get to the zoning board, because it's going to be alphabetically and the zoning board is the last board. So I wouldn't expect this to affect you all for some years. So I just want to make you aware that this isn't happening overnight. And if you do have any questions, I can answer them now. Yes, Ann Fullerton.
Thank you. So for a member like me, whose term is actually is up in November, and how does this change impact renewal of my term? If I decide to renew my term, like even having that conversation?
You can continue to serve until the administration gets to this board.
Get sued?
No, you can continue to serve. Sorry, my
Oh.
apologies. You can continue to serve on this board until that process gets to the ZBA.
Okay, I see.
No one's getting sued, don't worry.
So
Well,
we're all kind of as is then. We're
Yeah.
all active
Yes,
members.
nothing's changing with
So
you
the
all. You are-
expiration date is unimportant at this moment.
Yep, it's unimportant, exactly.
Ann Brockelman,
do we all have different term dates, or is
oh
everyone?
yeah,
Yes, everyone's
No
different.
idea.
Yep.
it's different.
I can get you that sheet if it's helpful. But again, I don't think it is, because you don't need to worry about anything until
I'm
this
sure
board
it's
is,
expired. Yeah.
yeah. This I think I would say most boards have expired terms, just because the process is going through these changes and
Yeah.
folks haven't necessarily been keeping up with the administrative end of things. Because
I
technically the
have
mayor,
Ann, I had you for January 31st, 2022. So, that's in, let's see if there's anybody else here.
That was the hearing. That was the
That's right.
Yeah, I
That
remember.
was the biggie.
Yeah.
And I'm through, January of 25. And you other folks all came on like the last year or two. So if you can remember when you came on, it's usually a 3-year appointment, so that you give you or you can just check with the clerk and check with Andrew. The clerk can tell you that a drop of a
Absolutely.
dime.
yeah, the clerk's office manages those things.
You're interested. But it's good to know, that's good. This is one time it's good to be at the end of the alphabet, right?
So I thought that would be good news to bring. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so do we have any other business? Anybody want to say anything? Yes, Andrew.
Yes, Chair, I just wanted to bring up the scheduling matter that we discussed earlier today.
Yes.
So folks, in general, when it comes to schedule conflicts you have, you don't need to attend a meeting. You just got to make us aware that if you're not going to be attending on that date, that you won't be there. And then, of course, that's why we have alternates, right? Other folks to fill in. So I wanted to make sure that you're aware of that. There is a December 31st date of 2025, which we're all aware is New Year's Eve. However, the city doesn't follow that. That's not recognized as a holiday. That's what I'm trying to say. So that meeting will be on our calendar, but we don't necessarily need to have that meeting. We can cancel it. So I just want to make sure that it's not a big deal. We'll deal with it when it gets a year from now.
I thought the mayor
I
in
have
the
a
city was
question
having a
about-
big party for us.
Yeah, right.
I thought we're having a New Year's Eve party.
Man.
Brian, did you say something? I think I
Yeah,
stepped
yes,
on you.
I had a question about the schedule, actually. I can't figure out, and so please explain to me why there's 3 April meetings on only one May meeting?
It's the way the calendar it falls. So that last April meeting would technically be the first in May. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Well, yeah, but you could have made it May 7th, right?
Well, so remember, it's always the first
And
and
third.
third. So it would be the 2nd and then the 16th, and then it makes sense, I guess, from it. Oh, you know why it is, Brian? I know why. It's because we coordinate with the planning board. We
Oh,
want to make sure that the meetings are aligned. So they're just back, they're back to back. That's why. I get where you're coming
Okay.
from, though. However, is that a problem? I just want to make sure that
no,
okay. All
I
right.
mean, it states on the website that generally it's the first and third,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we
Wednesday.
say generally.
and we could have
because there's
had it on
always
the
the-
7th and the
Yeah,
21st.
because
but
they're
no,
no, I understand. It is confusing. But again, it's just because of the way we manage things internally with the other boards. We want to make sure that it's just sort of kept in the same pattern. I know it might not make sense. That's what I'm told. And so I
All right.
funnel it down to you. Thank you for bringing it up, though.
more time in May.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
When I was reading the procedures, you freshen your mind up with stuff. It says there that you're going to be are going to be out. Is what does it say? A 3-week notice? Okay.
Correct.
That's good when everyone knows they have a vacation coming up or a special event in their home, business, or whatever they want. But if you know you're going to be out, as soon as you find out, you might get called into work, you might be sick, it could be that day. We don't care, but as long as we get to know right away. But also, on the recusing of oneself for certain cases, I would appreciate, I think the board would appreciate us knowing in advance, when you get your agenda and you see something on it, please let us know if you want to be recused. There's no problem. We'd rather you be. Yes, Ann Fullerton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So regarding the recusing, the issue that I've had lately with recusing is one of the cases that's come before us a few times has several entities involved. One of which the entities I have a direct relationship with, the others I don't. So depending on who is actually involved in the questions at hand, I may or may not need to recuse myself, and I don't know until that night, until I see.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
So
If
there
it-
are,
you mean a particular person presenting?
yes,
Oh, okay. And how, Andrew, how could anybody find out who the agent is or the whatever for that case? Can they just call the office and ask?
It's the case planner who's going to be
Right.
presenting, and we can reach out beforehand if that's helpful. It's just and I think for our sake is that we're not always going to remember that. So if you see on the agenda a certain case where this could come up, feel free to reach out to us so we can get back to you, and we can do it that way, that Friday before the meeting, if that's helpful.
sure, that would be
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? I understand where you're coming from, but when we're been shorthanded in the past, then I gotta make sure we have at least the 4 for a quorum. You know what I'm saying? So, because I mean, we do have 4 and 2 now, which is okay. But if somebody recused themselves and if somebody else is sick or something, we run short. So that's a good answer to resolve a issue before it happens. If I look at an agenda and I see a case, maybe I might be involved with somebody or somebody, I can just call the office, speak to the planner and say, hey, this is Cecia, this is Zach, this is so-and-so zoning. Could you tell me who the players are gonna be on such and such case? Is that what everybody's saying, right? I understand that? Yes, yes. Okay, good. Thank you. That was the only other comment I had. So that's it? No other business? No other comments? Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Happy, healthy new year. I thank you for nominating me again for your chair, and I welcome Ann Brockelman. She does a great job. And we're gonna get you, the rest of you is all involved by hook or by crook here. So hang tough. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Motion to
We have
adjourn.
to,
Oh,
In a
see,
motion.
you always
Chair Fontana.
get that. I
Second,
know I can't get 100% over here. All right. May I, so if there's no other business, may I please have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn the January 15, 2025 meeting of the Somerville Zoning Board of Appeals.
second,
Seconded by Ann Brockelman. All in favor, please say aye. Cecia Daglian,
Aye.
Zach Zaremba,
I.
Brian Cook,
Aye.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Ann Brockelman,
aye.
and Susan Fontano, aye. Let the record show is 100% to adjourn. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Andrew.
Good night,
Have a great
everyone.
night.
Good
Take
Good
care.
night.
Thanks for your help.